kind of interesting and strange, but of all healthcare professionals in New York involved in life-saving and sustaining measures, turns out that only respiratory therapists are not licensed. But Health Matters reporter Benita Zahn is here to tell us that that could change.
Yes, it could, Ed, because the wheels are in motion. The respiratory therapists are pushing to be licensed because their state society says a third of the therapists practice with little more than on-the-job training in what's become a very high-tech field. When medical wizardry is necessary to help you breathe, the person who tends to the computerized machines and the patient is the respiratory therapist. You're the doctor. Do they ever pull you out of a jam?
Oh, you bet they do. Just last week, they saved a patient's life.
Here at Albany Medical Center, the therapists have to be certified by the hospital, but there are no state regulations mandating that. Right now, if I wanted to be a respiratory therapist, I could just walk in and say, hey, I'm here, and train me if you've already got some openings?
And if that director believed in doing that process, yes, that could happen.
So without state licensing, there's on-the-job training and no overseeing agency to weed out the bad apples. Part of the problem is, just 20 years ago, there were no respiratory therapists. How much higher tech is the equipment that you're working with now as compared to 5 or 10 years ago?
Probably 100 times. There are things about this equipment and machinery that only a respiratory therapist knows. And if a formal educational background isn't provided, this person could have been instructed improperly and therefore not know what to do during a crisis.
And lives are at risk because of that?
Yes.
There we go. Both the state health and the education departments back the licensing push. Next week, the therapists plan on lobbying lawmakers who are currently reviewing bills for licensing. A SUNY freshman continues to fight for his life tonight. He's in the intensive care unit at St. Peter's Hospital battling meningitis. Hospital officials say he is in very critical condition at this hour. Even though meningitis is not highly contagious, Albany County health officials are taking no chances and giving 45 other students preventative treatment. All 45 were at a party with the student who is ill on Friday night.
I have a sort of cynical view as to why the may well pass the licensing bill, because it can be taxed. A fee can be attached. Money can be raised.
I suppose. You know, they're not looking at it as a money-making operation. And I want to make something clear. I hope everybody heard it in the story. In the capital region, all the hospitals demand some kind of certification from their workers. But you get out into a rural area, and that may not be the case, even in some suburban areas.
Or you're on vacation, and you need the services.
Exactly.
Thanks, Benita. A show of unity among state prison guards has now turned into a federal lawsuit. Today, Council 82 officials announced they were suing the state for violating the constitutional rights of free prison guards. The guards were suspended for wearing red and black ribbons on their uniforms. The ribbons signify union solidarity while Council 82 hammers out a contract with the state.
Phone rings. Caller says you've won a trip to Florida. Just pick up your tickets at the Oak and Spruce Resort in Lee, Massachusetts. Sounds like a great deal, but Money Matters reporter Diane Esterbrook says it isn't.
Eric Hoppel and wife Janine Meadows were excited when they say a caller told them they'd won a trip to Florida.
I was a little leery when I got this call out of the blue, and I asked them if there was any sort of a catch to this, and they said no. They said just come on over and pick up your travel voucher.
So armed with a hidden camera, the couple set out for the Oak and Spruce Resort in Lee, Massachusetts to collect their voucher. But when Hoppel and Meadows arrived at the resort, they didn't get their voucher. Instead, they got a long sales pitch for timeshare condos. After 40 minutes, they wanted their tickets.
So I'm still sure it's not something we're going to do, so I don't want to take up any more of your time.
Well, you have to, because we're paying you with the vacation to listen to me. So you're going to listen to me, you don't have to buy it.
Okay.
Follow me?
Yeah.
And if you don't want to hear it...
So in other words, if we don't stay, we don't get our vacation?
Correct.
That didn't seem fair, so I went back with the couple to ask questions.
Want to talk to my manager?
Sure.
Okay. He's in there.
Dan? Then we were directed to another manager. Are you a manager?
Yeah.
Hi, we're from Channel 13. My name's Diane Esterbrook. This couple just came over. They were given a call by one of your representatives a few days ago saying that they had won a trip for 6 nights in Florida. Without cameras, we were escorted into an office where McLean agreed to give the couple their voucher. The project director claimed that mistakes had been made by both the phone solicitor and the sales rep inside the resort. But apparently those mistakes have been made before. The New York State Attorney General's office has 14 complaints on file from consumers who claim that the Oak and Spruce Resort deceived them about sales presentations. Assistant Attorney General Rachel Kretzer says the resort broke New York law if it didn't tell Hoppel about the sales